you watched part 1 of my video. If not, check it out. I like to think of zero waste and plastic free merely as a response to climate change and not just like an isolated activity, but now I'm going to give you some recommendations. I'm talking about downshifters. So here is part 2 of my video. One potential response to the environmental crisis is to take matters into your own hands and look at your personal life and say, what can I do to lessen the impact that I have on the environment just by living, just by existing? And I'm very intrigued by this lifestyle, and zero wasters, people who are plastic free, definitely fall into this category, and this is something that I've started to apply to my own life more and more over the last year or so. I think as a part and parcel of the grand scheme, as I stand right now, I think it's worthwhile. It's like if the entire crisis is, if we scale it way down and make it a problem you have in your home where there's a big flood, then obviously there are a lot of different steps that have to happen before you can get back to status quo or better than status quo. And what downshifting is doing is turning off the faucet so that you're at least not adding more onto the flood. So if you are a systems thinker practicing downshifting, then I think it's a worthwhile cause that you're at least taking that step. And I think most people who practice a zero waste lifestyle or plastic free, and any variation of that, we don't have to be all or nothing, and I'm going to do another video on all or nothing fallacious thinking. But anyway, if you have a zero waste or plastic free lifestyle, I think very few of those people assume that they have found the answer, and if everybody just lived this way, everything would be great. I think a lot of us think that we're doing what we can personally, because not everyone can do that, so we're doing what we can do personally to hopefully call attention to it and to make these things more systematic so that in the future it can become more mainstream, not to continue to produce so much waste. So if that appeals to you, I have some other reading suggestions. Plastic Free, How I Kicked the Plastic Habit and How You Can Too by Beth Terry. She is one of the big voices. She started off with a blog called Fake Plastic Fish. She has a really big online community, and she's definitely one of my idols. And I came across Beth Terry's work after I first learned about Plastic Free July last year from 1millionwomen.com. And I also learned about Plastic Free Tuesday from there, and that kind of led me to Beth Terry's work. So in August of last year, I started working on Plastic Free. Very quickly that snowballed, and I realized, like, if you're literally just doing Plastic Free as a challenge to see like what you can do, I can see how it could have the negative impact of contributing just as much waste, but none of it being plastic, which is definitely a step in the right direction, but to my thinking, not quite enough. Okay, then this is probably, this next book is just amazing. It is a wealth of information. The Zero Waste Lifestyle, Live Well by Throwing Away Less. This is by Amy Korst, and it was published at the very end of 2012. It's 272 pages, and I recommend this book to anyone just starting out with trying to incorporate plastic-free or zero waste into your life. It goes into great depth, for example, about the harm that plastic does. I thought it was really fascinating to learn more about this. This product that comes in so many different forms that we come into contact with multiple times a day, and we don't even really stop to think about what it is. For example, in a documentary that I would recommend called Bag It, I think that was the first time I was like, oh wait, plastic bags are made out of petroleum. You don't really think about like how we're able to make that product. So this book was very informative in terms of the issues, and also gave a lot on the practical side. Speaking of the practical side, I can't talk about zero waste books and resources without mentioning Bea Johnson. She is kind of the goddess of zero waste. She has shattered a lot of the stereotypes about environmental living by making it a very updated, very contemporary and modern. I think on the very youthful side, Lauren Singer of Trash is for Tossers has done that as well. But Bea Johnson's book is like the Bible of zero waste.